Hello everybody, welcome to Dark and Darker. I'm going to be showing off some Bard gameplay. There's the songs if you want to pause and read everything that I have equipped. It's a lot of them. Here are the perks. Again, pause if you want to read that, but we're just going to hop right into it. I usually don't narrate over gameplay like this, but I thought, hey, Dark and Darker's out. It'll be a fun time. I enjoy Bard. And I wanted to share it with you, just a simple run I had. You can see here, a lot of what you're doing as Bard is applying buffs to yourself. So basically every 2 minutes you're going to be wanting to play those songs. At the beginning of the time I like to use Sarabando so that I can have a bit of extra movement speed in case any monsters catch up to me. Speaking of monsters, there is a pretty big area of goblins here, but it's usually got a player spawn, which is a bit more concerning than the goblins themselves. And we'll see what happens there in a moment. For now, with the movement speed buff and the damage buff and the attack speed buff, it's, even with the default loadout, very easy to take things down in the goblin caves as the Bard. The Shriek of Weakness, also incredibly good. I have been using Shriek of Weakness and Piercing Shrill a lot, because the amount of damage you do is really good. It's comparable to like an entire regular arrow hit from like a ranger bow. I use it a couple times here to try and soften up the enemies before I actually attack them, which you can do it as many times as you want. I have heard that Piercing Shrill also has a sound effect tied to it. I have literally never been hit by Piercing Shrill, so I do not know what that sounds like. I get hit by an arrow here. It's fine though. There's a healing shrine here generally. If not, there's a speed shrine. So it's a good spot to spawn, I'd say. It's also next to the big mineral area, so if you're moving over there, it's pretty good. Especially if you're mining, which as Bard or Rogue or Ranger are good moves. Here's an elite goblin. You don't actually see many elites in the normal dungeons nowadays. Interesting. But base they drop is nice. They're still pretty much just as easy to take down. There's High Roller Goblin Caves, which I have yet to check out, but I definitely should, because I'm very interested to see sort of what's down there. A lot of scary creatures, I imagine, because there's some spooky stuff in here. And after we loot this, we actually get to see what happened to that other player. After I grab a quick full heal. Spoiler alert, he didn't make it. I think he died to a single goblin warrior. Just one of them. So, poor guy. There he is. Rest in peace. I believe their name is Fuji. Rest in peace. But for the moment, we just sort of get some speed so we can start heading towards the center area, because that's usually where my conflict is. When I hear through this little wooden gate there is a fighter there. And the good thing about the Bard's movement speed abilities is you can just sort of have a flute playing if you have Dancing Feet, because the flute gives you a minus 10% speed, and the Dancing Feet gives you plus 10% speed, so it's not percentage, but like the speed stat. So again, I'm using that weakness just to make them incredibly weak. The amount of damage reduction is ridiculous. I realize I'm in a bit of a sticky spot here, so I decided it's probably easier to take him down. The rapier. Either way, there's a couple of mummies and goblins, and a goblin wizard who I think is a healing spell. I've never really seen that spell do much of anything, but I believe it's a healing spell. It's pretty easy to duck that or sidestep it, so I do that here and I take him down. And we just sort of have a pile here at this point. There's a lot of things down. But on this goblin, the drum with +3 magical damage I'm pretty excited about. There's a drum ability that does magical damage, and I'm not sure whether or not magical damage stacks with it, because it is dark magical damage, which might be a separate thing. But either way, the Din of Darkness, I have gotten so many kills just hitting this drum. For every one of these notches, it does 5 damage if you play it white. If you play white, it's 3 damage. If you play yellow, it's 5. And if you mess it up a lot, it's 1. But 5 damage for each one of those totals out to about 25 damage. Which is enough to kill that spider, it's enough to kill that goblin. This goblin not quite. So I just stabbed, I think, 3 damage. The amount of fights I win just because an enemy is low health because of Din of Darkness is very good. It's a good drum spell, I'd say. I think the downside of it is the movement speed debuff you get from the drum. So it sort of gives you that option of should you do Darkness and like have this constant ticking damage, or should you do the flute and have the sudden damage but you're faster. We do get some bolts for that hand crossbow, but I don't believe I end up using it very much in this run since I'm on Darkness, which just instantly kills that goblin. Because I believe he was already softened up from the previous 17 uses of Din of Darkness. Grabbing some goods here. There's just a lot of stuff on this little shelf here. It's a nice place to loot. Using a couple of bandages, because generally in this game it's the person with more health that wins most fights. And he'll survive things just barely. I tried to break this barrel here, but I don't think I am able to do it because I don't think I'm strong enough. I'm a barbarian or a fighter or nothing. I'm just a humble bard playing my tune into the world. My little music. Speaking of little music, I re-up all of my buffs. If you didn't stop to read, the main buffs are the first one there was damage up, this other one was an attack speed, and the one I just did was a movement speed buff. Which, the damage and the movement speed only apply to yourself, but they're honestly well worth it. They're very good. I feel like if you're doing a whole team, I might replace the damage buff with, like, if you have casters, there's a spell that regains magic, which I highly recommend. But there's a lot of versatility you can get out of the bard. There's a lot of different abilities, a lot of different strategies you can do. The bard is just generally a very interesting class right now. I really like where it is. At this point, I think I hear someone, and there he is. So I hide behind this drum while I play Din of Darkness. He doesn't notice me quite yet, so I get a bit closer to start hitting him with that damage. You see he takes 5, takes 10, takes 15, takes 20, and that's pretty massive, because in this fight, he gets me down incredibly low, and I just survive. Another enemy sees I've killed him, sees me running back. And I start playing Din of Darkness because it goes through walls and through floors, so if you're trying to open that door, the constant ticking damage can be really big. It's very valuable. I think Bard is definitely a support class, but he can do a lot if you play him well alone. And that luck does seem really good, because I end up getting a lot of very nice stuff from the chests. I'm pretty sure I hear this guy throughout. I think he's just out of Din of Darkness's reach, but I still keep playing him just in case there are some enemies below. And I actually kill a spider just through the ground. Din of Darkness just ends up killing so many enemies for very minimal effort. I end up going here and seeing this guy. It's really loaded. He has a crossbow that I want. And then I remember, oh yeah, I get to heal myself with the Tranquility Song, which I think honestly is like a must-have on Bard. That song is so powerful. The ability to just heal yourself. A lot of Bard's songs are just incredible. You trade the stealth off for it, but it's very well worth it. Give myself a movement speed buff so I can get more done here. Then I do one more Tranquility so I can still be healing well. put the smaller things down so I can grab the crossbow, and then I just sort of grab a bunch of little things before I head off. Could have grabbed more, but I heard an exit stone and I wanted to take it before the ring closed in. And yeah, I get out here, I get a lot of loot. And that's just sort of how the Bard plays. I really enjoy playing Bard, I really enjoy playing Dark and Darker, and I really hope you enjoyed watching. For the final haul of everything, we got ourselves 92 gold and a couple of extras. Thank you for watching, and I hope I see you next time, where we'll continue the plot of this Bard and see what happens. Goodbye.